Does Nikon need a cinema camera in their lineup? And is the Z8 good enough to perform that duty? Let's talk about that.
I got my satin dress on, you know it. No one's gonna stop my dancing feet. I'm on it, iconic. Got my body moving to the beat.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's Wayne here again. And today I have a topic on the Z8. I saw a comment in another video of someone mentioning that the Nikon isn't as good as the R5C. First thing I'll say, the Nikon is not a cinema camera. And while the test was being done on dynamic range and how good the camera performed in RAW, the one thing that I got out of the video was that the camera performs very well for what it is. Now, most of the performance, as I've seen it on the Z8, does pretty well when, I shouldn't say pretty well, it does really well in both 4K and 8K, but 8K just looks like hella awesome. If you watch my channel, you see my 8K videos, and yes, the 8K results from the Nikon looks pretty darn good. And these are the RAW files. I think I may have done one or two UHD videos, but the RAW ones always come out looking really nice. Nikon has never said that the Z8 was a cinema camera. And a lot of people who utilize hybrid cameras to do cinema work will know that the Nikon is lacking in a lot of features that cinematographers love. While the Nikon Z8 does have waveforms built in, it's missing a host of monitoring features, much like most hybrid cameras do. My FX30, which is filming this video, has an audio handle that allows you to get better audio into the camera. This camera was designed to be a cinema camera, and they have added more features as time goes on to make it even better. One of the things that I've been looking forward to on the Z6 III is that Nikon will make it a cinema type of camera, and mean a baby cinema camera, because for the price point, it's definitely not going to have all the features that you'd expect in pricier cameras with things like built-in audio. However, if they do something like an audio handle, like the FX3 and the FX30, or some kind of audio interface that they've integrated and sell with the camera, that would make it even more appealing to those people who want to do video as solo shooters. For those of us who are utilizing a hybrid camera for video, do you really want a cinema camera? I think some people may want that, but for a lot of us, not really. We're looking for a camera that can record video very well, give us really good quality, allow us to be able to tweak the RAW files to get even better footage from our cameras. The Z8 actually performs very well. My FX30, I think, is a pretty good performer. For me personally, when I first got it, I didn't like the way the colors look, and you know, at the end of the day, I figure, you know what, maybe the cinema thing is not really the thing that I prefer. I kind of like the more natural color. Cinema thing kind of give it a kind of smoother look, and some people like that because I guess in the movies you can have that look. But remember, it all depends on what you're filming and what you want to show. Some things could look hella sharp, hella colorful. Some things could be faded. There could be black and white. There's so many things you can do if you have the capability of the camera to allow you to do so. And typically the sensors that have been utilized in those cameras perform even better than what we have in our hybrid cameras. Now, I would enjoy the performance from my FX30 and the Z8. The Z8 is actually with me most of the time because I still enjoy shooting photos. But there are a lot of people who don't think that we should have hybrid cameras that have really good video specs. The basic stuff is good for them. And that, in my mind, is something that we need to take a different look at, because times are changing. Our video use are changing. Not everyone can afford a RED camera, an ARRI camera, a Sony FX6, or whatever Canon C300, C500. Those are not for everyone. So starting off with a hybrid camera that can do video but have really good features inside of it is what most of us look forward to. I think Nikon could do even better with the Z8. There's one thing I did notice when doing 4K recording is that the 4K setting is 420 and not 422. I think most of us expected that it's going to be 422, but the only 4K that's 422 is ProRes HQ. Everything else is 420. How does 420 10-bit compare to 422 10-bit? For most people, you're never going to notice the difference. From my understanding and the research I've done, the 420 pretty much looks the same as 422, except if you're dealing with text. then you lose a little bit of resolution there. But for most of the videos that you're shooting, people won't notice a difference. And most of us who've been shooting with a Z8 realize that the footage is crispy and it looks really good. I would have expected more, but we didn't get it. But it looks great. So I can't argue with that. You will hear people talk about the camera as if it's not great, Nikon is going to be a has-been, because now that we have other creators who are looking at this camera, the expectations are high based upon all the codecs that are in there. I give Nikon credit for being able to allow the camera to record RAW internally. So I lost a bit of audio and I have to re-record this portion. Let me say this, the Z8 is a fantastic hybrid camera for all the features that it has. It has gone way more than most of the cameras on the market, and while it does have a fan, it can record for 2 hours and 5 minutes in the right conditions. That's one of the things that I really like about this camera. Not many other cameras out there can do what Nikon Z8 can do. And given that it's a sealed body, that is impressive. Is it a cinema camera? No. But it's quite close in what it can do. And let me say this, with future firmware updates, I expect this camera to get even better. My FX30 got some updates. Now it does DCI 24 frames per second, not 23.97. Can a Nikon do this? I'm sure they can. So maybe in the future we can see more as more and more people start talking with Nikon about what they expect. A lot more creators saying, hey, we'd like to see this. I'm pretty sure Nikon can develop some things and add to the camera. But I do think they're probably working on these kind of features to put out in the Z6 III. Typically, like a new camera, like say the Z8 came out, it got some newer features, then it got ported to the Z9. The ZF came out and some of those features got ported over to the Z8 and Z9. So if the Z6 III comes out and it's giving us more cinema features, I'm pretty sure Nikon is going to port some of that to the Z8 and Z9. For what it's given us for a hybrid camera, it's full featured. Yes, it may not have 10-bit 422 on the 4K side, but hey, for most people, again, not a major issue. The audio in the camera is pretty good. There is an audio handle out that you can install on it to improve the audio quality. You can use external monitors because yes, it doesn't have a flip screen. So there's so many things that you can do. And when you think about most of the guys who are shooting with cinema gear, what are they doing? External monitor, external audio. So it's a similar thing that you can do with the Z8. So it's not too far behind what we're looking at for cinema cameras. I think most users are satisfied with what the Z8 brings to the table. Now, if you're someone who's utilizing this camera, does it matter to you that it's not a cinema camera? Do you really care?
Fully charged with energy, feel the blood rush into me. It's my calling, can't you see? Like Paul once said, just let it be. And when those doubts come back my way, there's a game I like to play. Say words won't bring me down today. Lord, don't let that fade away. Fade down away to sunlight. Me to feel right, me to be like. I got my satin dress on, you know it. No one's gonna stop my dancing feet. I'm on it, iconic. Got my body moving to the beat.
Now, for everyone of you out there that shoot video with Nikon cameras, do you care if it's 420 or 422? Have you been having any issues with the footage, with the image quality? What would you like to see in a future Nikon for cinema camera? And does the Z8 does good enough for you for videos or for cinema work?